Hello there, and welcome to the Sleeping Science channel. Tonight we'll drift through the quiet architecture of the universe, a place where light moves slower than patience and time forgets to hurry. It is a journey into the vast, silent machinery that surrounds us, an exploration of the forces that hold the stars in their places and the atoms in your skin. Here, in the gentle dark of the cosmos, there is no urgency, only the slow, steady unfolding of a story that began long before we arrived to. Listen, it is a story written in gravity and light, a narrative that requires nothing from you but your presence. Perhaps the day has been full of noise, cluttered with the demands of small and rapid things that compete for your attention. The mind often feels crowded by the temporary, holding on to lists and worries that seem heavy only because they are close. But tonight, we step back from the immediate to look at the infinite, where the noise of the day dissolves into the silence of the aeons. In this space, the small turbulence of the moment is smoothed out by the sheer scale of reality. There is room here for you to simply exist, unburdened by the need to solve, to fix, or to understand anything other than the peaceful rhythm of the cosmos. Let your shoulders rest. Let gravity hold you as it holds the planets, with a firmness that is both absolute and gentle. There is no need to hold yourself up right now, for the earth beneath you is supported by the same laws that support the sun. Feel the weight of your body settling into the surface below, a physical reminder that you are part of a physical universe, grounded and secure. The tension you carry is merely energy waiting to be released, just as a star releases its light into the void. Allow your breath to find a natural, unforced cadence, mirroring the slow expansion and contraction that happens in the deep reaches of space. Tonight we'll drift through the quiet laws of the unified architecture, tracing the invisible beams and pillars that construct our reality. We will look at the universe not as a chaotic scatter of objects, but as a coherent, elegant structure where everything is connected to everything else. From the smallest vibration of a particle to the grand rotation of a galaxy, there is a singular pattern, a silent agreement of physics that keeps the cosmos stable. If this calm space brings you peace, consider sharing it. It helps other wandering minds find their way here too, building a constellation of restful thinkers across the dark. Now, let's begin. Consider the air that surrounds you now, the invisible ocean of atoms that fills the room and rests against your skin. Though it feels empty and light, it is a dense tapestry of ancient matter, particles that have traveled through eons to be here in this moment of stillness. Each atom is a tiny, perfect system, a cathedral of space and energy that follows rules laid down at the dawn of time. They do not clash or compete, they simply float in. The vast probability of existence, vibrating with a hum too low for the ears, but felt by the very fabric of reality. This is the first layer of our architecture, the silent presence of the fundamental. Within each of these atoms, there is a space so vast compared to the particles it contains that it mimics the emptiness of the solar system itself. If the nucleus of an atom were a marble resting in the center of a great stadium, the electrons would be distant specks of dust drifting in the higher stands. This means that the solid world you touch, the walls, the floor, the blanket, is mostly made of quiet, empty space, held together by invisible fields of force. The solidity you feel is an illusion of energy, a polite resistance between fields that refuse to merge. You are resting on a cushion of electromagnetic silence, and silence follows. This emptiness is not a void of nothingness, but a field of potential, a canvas waiting for the brushstroke of energy. In the deep quiet, between the electron and the nucleus, the laws of physics stand guard, ensuring that the structure does not collapse. It is a balance maintained without effort, a permanent equilibrium that has lasted for billions of years. The stability of the matter around you is a testament to the reliability of the universe. It does not change its mind or alter its rules. The chair remains a chair, the air remains air, and you remain you, held safely in this continuity of form. These particles that compose the room are not new. They are the recycled breath of the cosmos, older than the Earth itself. Every carbon atom, every trace of oxygen, was once forged in the crushing heart of a star, that lived and died long before our sun was born. You are surrounded by the history of the universe, by matter that has seen the birth of galaxies and the cooling of nebulae. There is a profound dignity in this ancient matter, a silent wisdom in the way it settles now, resting from its long journey through the void. It has traveled across light years to be part of the quiet peace of this room. Gravity, the architect of the large and the small, works here too, though its touch is featherlight on the scale of the room. It is the same force that keeps the moon tethered to the earth and the earth tethered to the sun, yet here it simply keeps you grounded in your bed. It is not a pulling down, but a holding close, a constant reminder that you belong to this planet. Gravity is the universe's embrace, the curvature of space itself, bending to accommodate your presence. It is the most patient of forces, never wavering, never releasing its gentle grip, ensuring that nothing drifts away into the cold, and everything rests in its place. Think of the light that may be filtering into the room, or the memory of light that lingers in your mind. Light is the messenger of the universe, the fastest traveler, yet it too obeys the strict speed limit of the cosmos. When you look at a distant street lamp or a star, you are not seeing it as it is now, but as it was when the light began its journey. To look out into the universe is to look back in time, to see the ghosts of moments past arriving in the present. This delay is not a flaw, but a cushion, a way for the universe to organize its history, allowing events to unfold in a sequence that creates order. There is a rhythm to this movement of light, a wave-like propagation that travels through the vacuum without needing a medium to carry it. It is a self-sustaining ripple in the electromagnetic field, a pulse that can travel for billions of years without losing its identity. Even in the darkness, there is radiation, waves of energy that are too long for our eyes to see, drifting through the walls and through us, connecting the inside of the room with the outside world. We are bathed in this invisible sea of wavelengths, a silent symphony of signals that permeates the cosmos, and light drifts onward. Deep down, at the bedrock of reality, there is the quantum realm, a place where the rules of certainty soften into clouds of probability. Here, a particle is not a hard sphere, but a blur of location, existing in multiple places at once until it is observed. It is a world of shimmering potential, where things are defined not by where they are, but by where they might be. This fundamental uncertainty is not chaos. It is a kind of freedom, a looseness in the joints of the universe that allows for fluidity and change. The foundation of reality is not rigid stone, but a flowing river of chance. This fluidity is governed by the four fundamental forces, the invisible pillars that hold the roof of the universe aloft. Gravity we know, but there is also the strong nuclear force, which binds the centers of atoms together with an intensity that defies imagination. It is the glue of existence, so powerful that it overcomes the natural repulsion of positive charges, forcing them to coexist in the tight embrace of the nucleus. Without this force, the universe would be a soup of lonely particles, unable to form anything complex or lasting. It is the force of unity, pulling the disparate parts into a whole. Then there is the weak nuclear force, the subtle alchemist responsible for the transmutation of elements, allowing the sun to burn and the earth to remain warm. And finally, electromagnetism, the force of chemistry and light, the interaction that allows atoms to bond into molecules, creating water, air, and stone. These four forces work in a seamless harmony, a quartet that has played the same song since the first fraction of a second of the universe. They do not compete, they interweave, creating a stable platform for the drama of existence to unfold. And the rhythm continues. Consider the temperature of the universe, the slow drift of heat from the hot to the cold. Thermodynamics tells us that energy seeks to spread out, to share itself with the emptiness until everything is equal. This is why your blanket feels warm. It is trapping the heat your body generously offers to the cooler air. On a cosmic scale, stars are doing the same, pouring their warmth into the frigid vacuum of space. It is a long, slow process of equilibration. a seeking of balance that drives the weather on planets and the currents of nebulas. The universe is constantly trying to make itself comfortable. In the vast stretches between the galaxies, the temperature drops to near absolute zero, a cold so profound it preserves matter in a state of suspended animation. But even there, in the deepest freeze, there is movement. Quantum fluctuations ripple through the vacuum, borrowing energy from the future and returning it in an instant. The void is never truly empty. It is seething with potential, a bubbling foam of virtual particles that pop in and out of existence, like the fleeting thoughts of a dreaming mind. The nothingness is alive with possibility. This vacuum, this fabric of space-time, is not a passive stage, but an active participant in the story. It stretches and bends, warped by the mass of the objects within it. Imagine a heavy sleeper on a soft mattress, creating a depression that draws smaller objects toward them. This is how the sun holds the Earth. It curves the space around it, creating a valley that we roll around in an eternal orbit. We are coasting along the curvature of the invisible, following the path of least resistance through the geometry of the dark. And still, the universe breathes. Long before there were planets or people, there was only a primordial soup of energy, a dense and hot plasma where light could not travel. It was a time of unity, where all forces were one and all matter was indistinguishable. As the universe expanded, it cooled, and in that cooling, it allowed for separation and distinction. Protons found electrons, and the first atoms of hydrogen were born, the simplest, most elegant element, consisting of one proton and one electron dancing together. This was the first marriage of particles, the first step toward complexity. Hydrogen is the grandfather of all matter, the primary fuel of the cosmos. From this simple gas, colorless and odorless, the universe has spun every structure we see today. It is the humble brick from which the galaxies are built. Giant clouds of this gas began to gather in the dark, drawn together by gravity, clumping into denser and denser regions. As they gathered, they began to heat up, the friction of their meeting turning movement into warmth. The cold dark was preparing to ignite. These clouds of hydrogen, vast nurseries of potential, floated in the void for millions of years. They were the great reservoirs of the future, holding the promise of every star that would ever shine. Inside these clouds, the pressure mounted. The atoms squeezed closer and closer until they could no longer maintain their individuality. They began to merge, to fuse, releasing a spark of energy that signaled the birth of a star. This process, this ignition, is the heartbeat of the visible universe, and light drifts onward. So we see that the universe is built on a foundation of transformation. Nothing is lost, it only changes form. The energy that was released in the Big Bang is the same energy that powers the stars today, and the same energy that allows your mind to wonder. We are part of a closed system, a grand container where the ingredients are constantly mixed and remixed, but never discarded. The atoms in your body will one day return to the cosmos, perhaps to become part of a new star or a drifting planet. We are temporary arrangements of eternal things. Let us widen our view now, stepping back from the microscopic dance of atoms to the macroscopic grandeur of the stars. Imagine drifting upwards, away from the surface, passing through the thin veil of the atmosphere and into the clarity of true space. Here, the silence is absolute. There is no air to carry sound, only the pristine quiet of the vacuum. The sun shines with a fierce white light, unfiltered by clouds, a perfect sphere of burning plasma suspended against the velvet black. This light, so steady and warm against the face of the Earth, is born from a process of immense patience. Deep within the core of the star, the pressure is so intense that atoms are stripped of their shells, pressed together until they merge into something new. It is a fusion of elements, a marriage of nuclei that releases energy in the form of photons. These tiny packets of light begin a long, crowded journey from the center of the sun to the surface, bouncing for thousands of years through the dense plasma before finally breaking free. The sunlight that touches your skin is ancient, a traveler that has spent millennia trying to reach the edge of its own home. The sun itself is not a solid object, but a ball of fluid gas held together by its own immense gravity. It exists in a state of perfect balance, a concept physicists call hydrostatic equilibrium. Gravity pulls everything inward, trying to crush the star into a point, while the energy of fusion pushes outward, trying to expand it into the void. These two titanic forces cancel each other out perfectly, creating a stable, glowing sphere that has remained unchanged for billions of years. It is a stalemate of forces, a tension that results in the peaceful, steady light of our days, and the orbit holds. Around this quiet giant, the planets trace their invisible paths, rolling along the curved fabric of spacetime. They do not need engines or fuel to keep moving. They drift on the momentum they were given at their birth. In the vacuum of space, there is no air resistance to slow them down, no friction to steal their energy. Once an object is set in motion here, it will continue forever, gliding through the dark in a state of perpetual grace. The Earth falls around the Sun, constantly curving toward it, but moving fast enough to miss, trapped in a beautiful, eternal freefall that we call an orbit. This system is flat, like a great disk spinning in the silence. The planets all move in the same direction, on roughly the same plane, a memory of the spinning cloud of dust from which they were formed. It is a coherent family, bound by the history of its origin. There is no chaos here, only a rhythmic, clockwork precision. If you were to watch from above, you would see a slow, mesmerizing dance, the inner world zipping around quickly, the outer giants moving with stately, ponderous slowness. It is a machine made of spheres and silence, ticking away the aeons without a sound. Between the planets, the space is not truly empty. It is filled with the solar wind, a stream of charged particles that flows constantly outward from the sun. This wind breathes against the planets, creating auroras at their poles and defining the boundaries of the solar system. We live inside the atmosphere of the sun, a vast bubble of magnetic influence called the heliosphere that pushes back against the interstellar medium. We are cocooned in this protective shell, drifting through the galaxy inside a bubble of our star's own making. It is a shield of invisible energy, guarding the stillness of our neighborhood, and everything rests in its place. Farther out, beyond the rocky worlds, lie the gas giants, immense planets that are more like failed stars than solid ground. They are swirling storms of hydrogen and helium, adorned with rings of ice that glitter in the distant sunlight. These rings are not solid bands, but rivers of millions of tiny moonlets, chunks of ice and rock flowing together in a flat, shimmering stream. They collide and rebound in slow motion, grinding against each other in a frictionless dance, governed by the delicate tug of gravity from shepherd moons that herd them into narrow lanes. It is a spectacle of order born from debris. The scale of this architecture is difficult to hold in the mind, yet it is soothing in its vastness. The distance from the Earth to the Sun is an astronomical unit, a measuring stick of the cosmos. If you were to drive a car at highway speeds toward the Sun, it would take you more than 100 years to arrive. The gaps between the worlds are profound, vast oceans of nothingness that isolate each planet in its own private sphere of influence. This isolation is a form of peace. The planets do not crowd each other. They respect the deep boundaries of the void, and silence follows. Time itself seems to slow down as we move outward. On the distant worlds of the outer rim, a single year can last for centuries of Earth time. The seasons there are long epochs of shadow and light, shifting with a glacial slowness. To an observer on these cold, distant sentinels, the sun is merely the brightest star in the sky, a point of intense brilliance that offers little heat. Yet, gravity's reach is infinite. Even at these tremendous distances, the sun holds its children tight, guiding them through the dark. With an invisible, unbreakable tether, the connection remains, stretching across the billions of miles of silence. Beyond the last great planet, we enter the Kuiper Belt, a drift of frozen remnants left over from the construction of the solar system. These are the icy bricks that were never used, floating in the deep freeze of the outer dark. They are perfectly preserved time capsules, holding the chemical history of the nebula that birthed us. Occasionally, one is nudged by gravity and falls inward, becoming a comet, a traveler that wakes up as it nears the sun, growing a tail of gas and dust before returning to the deep cold. They are the wanderers of the system, linking the frozen edges with the fiery center, and the rhythm continues. Now, let us drift beyond the edge of our home system, crossing the threshold into true interstellar space. Here, the sun becomes just another star among the billions, losing its dominance as we enter the realm of the galaxy proper. The distances between stars are so great that they defy human comprehension. To reach the nearest neighbor would take tens of thousands of years, a journey through a silence so deep it feels like a physical weight. But this space is not lonely. It is the necessary room for the stars to exist. Without this vast separation, the night sky would be a blinding wall of fire. The darkness is a gift, a canvas that allows the light to be seen. In this deep space, we encounter the interstellar medium, the thin gas and dust that fills the galaxy. It is more tenuous than the best vacuum created in any laboratory on Earth, yet across light years, it adds up to immense clouds. These are the stellar nurseries, the great nebulas where new stars are being born. They glow with the light of newborn suns, illuminating the caverns of dust like stained glass in a cosmic cathedral. These clouds are the recycling centers of the universe, gathering the ashes of dead stars to forge the bodies of new ones. Gravity is the sculptor here, working over millions of years to shape the dust into pillars and ridges. It is a slow, gentle collapse, a gathering of material that requires patience beyond measure. There is no rush in the cosmos. A star takes 10 million years to turn on. The universe operates on a timescale of geology and astronomy, where the now stretches out to encompass eras. To watch a nebula is to watch a process so slow it appears purely static, a frozen explosion of color and form suspended in the dark. And still, the universe breathes. The light from these distant regions takes eons to reach us. When you look up at the Milky Way, that band of spilled milk across the sky, you are looking into the past. You are seeing the collective light of billions of stars as they were thousands of years ago. The galaxy is a time machine, offering us a view of history written in photons. This delay connects us to the ancient past, weaving the timeline of the universe into a single, visible tapestry. We are never truly alone in time. We are always surrounded by the visual echoes of what has come before. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, is a spiral, a great pinwheel of light rotating slowly in the void. It takes 200 million years for our sun to complete one lap around the galactic center. This means that the last time the Earth was in this part of the galaxy, dinosaurs were just beginning to walk the land. We are travelers on a great carousel, moving through the cosmos in a wide, sweeping arc. The galaxy itself is a structure of immense beauty, with arms of blue stars wrapping around a core of golden, older suns. It is an island of light in the ocean of the universe, and light drifts onward. At the center of this island lies a mystery, a supermassive black hole around which everything pivots. It is the anchor of the galaxy, a point of infinite density where gravity is so strong that not even light can escape. It is the silent heart of our city of stars, a region where space and time are knotted together. While it sounds formidable, it is a stable, gravitational center, the hub that keeps the galaxy from flying apart. It is the unseen heavy stone that holds the fabric of the Milky Way in place, allowing the spiral arms to keep their shape. The stars in the spiral arms do not move like solid spokes of a wheel. They move like cars in traffic. The arms are density waves, regions where gravity slows the stars down just enough to bunch them together before they speed up again. As stars pass through these arms, the gas clouds are compressed, triggering the birth of new lights. The spiral pattern is a self-sustaining wave of creation, a ripple that travels through the disk, lighting up the galaxy with fresh star formation. It is a mechanism of renewal, ensuring that the galaxy remains bright and alive, and the rhythm begins again. Between the stars, there are rogue planets, worlds that have slipped the leash of their parent suns and drift alone through the dark. They float in eternal night, untethered and free. Though they are dark, they are not dead. They retain the heat of their formation deep within their cores. They are the silent travelers, the nomads of the galaxy, passing unseen through the gaps between the solar systems. They remind us that the universe is full of hidden things, objects that do not announce themselves with light, but exist nonetheless in the quiet integrity of their own gravity. The galaxy is also threaded with magnetic fields, invisible, ribbons of force that guide the motion of charged particles. These fields twist and turn, shaping the gas clouds and directing the flow of cosmic rays. They are the hidden wiring of the cosmos, a nervous system that transmits energy across thousands of light years. We cannot see them with our eyes, but we can see their effects in the alignment of dust grains and the polarization of starlight. The universe is structured by these invisible lines, a geometry of force that underlies the visible chaos, and everything softens. As we drift further out to the halo of the galaxy, the stars become older and fewer. This is the spherical cloud of ancient stars that surrounds the disk, the elders of the galactic tribe. These stars are simple, composed mostly of hydrogen and helium, lacking the heavy elements that make up the Earth. They are the survivors of the early universe, watching the frantic activity of the spiral arms from a distance. They move in elliptical orbits, diving through the disk and soaring back out into the lonely halo, tracing flower petal paths around the center. Surrounding all of this, holding the spinning galaxy in a warm embrace, is the dark matter halo. We cannot see it, cannot touch it, and it does not interact with light. But we know it is there by the way it pulls on the stars. It provides the extra gravity needed to keep the outer stars moving at high speeds. It is the invisible scaffolding of the universe, the ghost structure that supports the visible matter. 5 times more abundant than the atoms we can see, dark matter is the true ocean in which our galaxy floats. We are merely the foam on the waves of this vast, unseen sea. This invisible ocean, the dark matter, extends far beyond the visible spiral of the galaxy, reaching out to touch the halos of our neighbors. If you were to float in the intergalactic dark, looking back, our Milky Way would appear as a shimmering coin of light, a lonely beacon in the vastness. But we are not truly alone. We are part of a family, a collection of galaxies bound together by their mutual gravity. We call this the local group, a modest name for a gathering of giants. The nearest major neighbor, Andromeda, hangs in the dark like a mirror image of our own home, a twin spiral spinning silently in the deep distance. These 2 great galaxies, ours and Andromeda, are slowly falling toward one another. It is a motion that began billions of years ago, a gravitational destiny that cannot be unwritten. But this is not a collision in the violent sense. It is a slow, graceful merger, a dance that will take eons to complete. The stars within them are spaced so far apart that when the galaxies eventually meet, they will pass through each other like ghosts, their systems largely undisturbed. The skies of the future will simply grow brighter, filled with a double band of starlight as the 2 spirals weave themselves into a single, larger elliptical galaxy. And the tide moves gently on. Between these islands of light lies the intergalactic void, a space so empty that a single atom might travel for 1,000,000 years without meeting another. This is the truest silence in the universe, a vacuum cleaner than any machine could ever produce. Yet even here, there is structure. Faint tendrils of gas stretch across the abyss, connecting the galaxies like the finest silk threads. These filaments are the highways of the cosmos, directing the flow of matter onto the galaxies, feeding them with the fresh gas they need to birth new stars. The emptiness is not a barrier, it is a bridge. As we look deeper into the universe, we notice a peculiar habit of the light. It shifts toward the red. This is not a change in the stars themselves, but a stretching of the space through which the light travels. The universe is expanding, growing larger in every direction at once. As the light flies through this expanding space, its waves are gently pulled apart, lengthening into the red end of the spectrum. It is as if the light is relaxing, loosening its tight coils as it crosses the vast distances. The farther a galaxy is, the faster it recedes, carried away by the swelling fabric of spacetime, and everything rests in its place. This expansion is calm and uniform, a relentless unfolding of the cosmos. It does not tear galaxies apart, but their local gravity is strong enough to hold them together against the tide. But on the grandest scales, the universe is breathing out, putting more and more distance between the great clusters of galaxies. It is a lonely thought, perhaps, but also a peaceful one. The universe is making room for itself, creating more space for existence to inhabit. We are drifting in a sea that creates its own water as it flows, an endless generation of the new. Gathering together in the dark, hundreds or even thousands of galaxies form massive clusters, the largest gravitationally bound structures in the universe. Imagine a swarm of glowing bees, each bee a galaxy containing billions of stars. The Virgo cluster, our nearest celestial city, is a humming metropolis of these galactic islands. They orbit a common center of gravity, whipping around each other at incredible speeds, yet held fast by the collective mass of the group. The space between them is filled with extremely hot gas, a pervasive atmosphere that glows in X-rays, unseen by our eyes but bright to the universe, and the orbit holds. The gravity of these massive clusters is so profound that it warps the light passing near them. If you were to look through a cluster at a distant galaxy behind it, the image would be distorted, magnified, and bent into an arc. This is gravitational lensing, nature's own telescope. The cluster acts as a giant lens, gathering light from the deep background and focusing it for us to see. It brings the very distant and the very faint into view, allowing us to peer further back in time than we otherwise could. The mass of the universe helps us to see the universe. The heavy acts as a window for the light. Zooming out even further, these clusters are not scattered randomly. They are flowing like rivers toward even greater concentrations of mass. Our local group and the Virgo cluster are merely suburbs of a colossal structure known as the Laniakea supercluster. In the Hawaiian language, Laniakea means immeasurable heaven, a fitting name for a structure that spans 500 million light-years. It is a watershed of gravity, a region where thousands of galaxies are sliding down the gravitational slopes toward a central point, a great valley in the topology of space, and silence follows. At the heart of this flow lies the Great Attractor, a gravitational anomaly that pulls everything in our region of the universe toward it. We cannot see it clearly, for it is hidden behind the dense dust of our own Milky Way, but we can feel its tug. It is the bottom of the well, the destination of our long, slow drift. Everything is moving, the Earth around, the sun around the galaxy toward Andromeda, and all of us together flowing toward this great, unseen center. We are passengers on a current that flows on a scale of billions of years. These superclusters are arranged in a vast, three-dimensional network known as the cosmic web. It looks like the neural network of a brain, or the intricate branching of veins in a leaf. Threads of dark matter and galaxies stretch across the universe, weaving a pattern of density and light. Where the threads intersect, massive clusters form, glowing like nodes in a fiber optic system. This web is the skeleton of the cosmos, the underlying architecture that dictates where matter can live. It is a structure of immense delicacy, spun from gravity and time, and the network endures. Between the filaments of the web lie the great voids, colossal bubbles of emptiness, where very few galaxies exist. These are the deserts of the universe, spanning hundreds of millions of light-years. If you were on a planet in the center of a void, the sky would be almost perfectly black, with perhaps only a handful of dim smudges to suggest that other galaxies exist. These voids are the dominant feature of the universe by volume. Most of reality is empty, quiet space. They are the expanding bubbles that push the filaments of the web together, shaping the structure of the cosmos by their very emptiness. There is a profound balance here between the something and the nothing. The filaments need the voids to define them. The light needs the dark to give it shape. The universe is not a solid block of matter, but a delicate lace, a filigree of substance suspended in the nothingness. It is porous and open, a system that breathes. This openness suggests that there is no crowding in the grand scheme. There is always enough space, always a vast reserve of silence waiting between the stars, and the current flows, without effort. As we gaze across these distances, we are also looking deep into the history of the universe. The light from distant filaments has traveled for billions of years to reach us. We are seeing the cosmic web not as it is today, but as it was when the Earth was just a cloud of dust. The farther we look, the younger the universe appears. We are peering back through the epochs, watching the galaxies evolve in reverse, seeing them become smaller, more irregular, more frantic in their youth. The telescope is a time machine that allows us to witness the growing pains of the cosmos. There is a horizon to this vision, a limit to how far back we can see. This is not a wall in space, but a wall in time. Because light has a finite speed, there is a distance beyond which the light has not yet had time to reach us since the beginning of the universe. This is the edge of the observable universe, a bubble centered on you. Beyond this horizon, there is likely more universe, more galaxies, more web, stretching out forever, but their light is still on its way, racing across the void to bring us news of their existence. We wait for them in the dark, and stillness travels through the water. Before there were stars, before there were galaxies, the universe was a hot, dense fog of particles. Light could not travel freely. It was scattered by the loose electrons like headlights in a thick mist. For nearly 400,000 years, the cosmos was opaque, a glowing wall of plasma. Then, as space expanded and cooled, a miraculous transition occurred. The electrons slowed down enough to be captured by protons, forming the first neutral atoms. The fog cleared instantly, and the light was set free, launching into the void to begin a journey that continues today. This ancient light, the first afterglow of the Big Bang, is still washing over us from every direction. We call it the cosmic microwave background. It is the oldest image we can see, a snapshot of the infant universe frozen in time. If you tune an old television between stations, a small percentage of that static is this primordial radiation, the whisper of the universe's birth interacting with the antenna. You are watching the remnant of the first light, a signal that has cooled and stretched over 13 billion years until it is just a faint hum of microwaves, and peace hums through the body. This background radiation is incredibly uniform, a smooth sea of energy that is almost exactly the same temperature everywhere you look. This smoothness tells us that the early universe was extremely simple, a soup of matter and energy that was mixed thoroughly. It is a testament to the initial unity of all things. In that early heat, everything was connected, everything was one. The complexity we see today, the planets, the trees, the thoughts in your mind, all evolved from that simple, uniform beginning. We are the result of a long process of differentiation. However, the uniformity is not perfect. Within that smooth glow, there are tiny, microscopic fluctuations, spots that are slightly warmer or slightly cooler than the average. These tiny ripples, these imperfections in the soup, are the seeds of everything. The slightly denser spots had a little more gravity, pulling in more matter, growing larger and larger over the eons, until they became the galaxies and clusters we see today. Without those tiny wrinkles in the early light, the universe would be a boring, featureless gas. We owe our existence to a slight imbalance in the beginning, and the rhythm begins again. So we see that the structure of the universe, from the great walls of galaxies to the empty voids, is the matured version of those ancient ripples. The cosmic web is the grown-up portrait of the infant cosmos. There is a direct line of cause and effect that stretches from the quantum fluctuations of the first second to the formation of the sun and the earth. We are connected to the origin by a chain of gravity and time that has never been broken. The history of the universe is the history of the matter that makes you. Let us now allow our attention to drift from the structure of space to the nature of the matter that fills it. We have spoken of stars and galaxies, but what of the elements themselves? The carbon in your cells, the oxygen in your lungs, the iron in your blood. These are not accidental. They are the artifacts of cosmic alchemy. The universe began with only hydrogen and helium, the simplest of gases. It was a sterile place, devoid of the complexity needed for life. The heavy elements, the rich chemistry of existence, had to be manufactured. And everything softens. The factories for this creation are the stars. In their cores, as we have seen, they fuse hydrogen into helium. But as a star ages, it begins to run out of fuel. The core contracts, the temperature rises, and the star begins to fuse heavier and heavier elements. Helium becomes carbon, carbon becomes neon, neon becomes oxygen. Layer by layer, the star builds the periodic table in its heart. It is a process of transmutation, turning the simple into the complex, the light into the heavy. The star is preparing the ingredients for future worlds. For the most massive stars, this process continues until they create iron. Iron is the ash of nuclear fusion. It cannot be fused to create more energy. When a star fills with iron, the fire goes out. The pressure that held the star up against gravity vanishes in an instant. The core collapses inward at a quarter of the speed of light, crushing down until it can go no further, and then rebounds in a titanic explosion, a supernova. This is not a disaster. It is a delivery mechanism. The star shreds itself, blasting all the elements it created out into the universe. In this great release of light and energy, the star acts as a cosmic sower, scattering the seeds of future worlds into the dark. The explosion is so bright, it can outshine an entire galaxy for a few weeks, a final, radiant declaration of existence. But as the light fades, what remains is a cloud of rich, complex dust, a nebula filled not just with hydrogen, but with oxygen, silicon, calcium, and iron. The death of the star is the birth of the possibility of rock, of water, and of life. It is the ultimate act of generosity. The star dies so that the universe may grow complex. But what of the gold, the platinum, the silver? These heavy, precious elements require even more extreme conditions to form. They are born in the rare and violent meetings of neutron stars, the ultra-dense, cores left behind by giants. When these remnants touch, they shatter the atomic structure of matter, forging the heaviest elements in a flash of heat that defies comprehension. Every fleck of gold in a wedding band, every trace of silver in a wire, was created in a cosmic collision billions of years ago. You are wearing the debris of dead stars, and stillness widens its reach. This enriched dust drifts through the galaxy, riding the interstellar winds, mixing with the pristine clouds of hydrogen. It is a slow mingling, a seasoning of the cosmos. Over millions of years, gravity begins its work again, pulling this mixture together. But this time, the cloud is different. It is dirty with heavy elements. As it collapses to form a new star, it leaves behind a disk of debris, dust grains made of carbon and ice and iron. These grains are the building blocks of planets. They are the dust that will eventually become the ground beneath your feet. In the swirling disk around a newborn sun, a quiet process of accretion begins. Dust grains bump into each other and stick, held together by the same static electricity that makes a balloon stick to a wall. These tiny clumps grow into pebbles, the pebbles into boulders, and the boulders into mountains. It is a process of patient accumulation, a snowball effect in the vacuum. There is no urgency here, only the inevitable result of gravity and time. Slowly, the chaos of the disk organizes itself into the orderly lanes of planets, and the rhythm of the deep endures. The new planets are hot and molten, glowing with the heat of their assembly. They are not yet places of rest, but places of forging. As they cool, the heavy elements, the iron and nickel, sink to the center, drawn down by gravity to form a dense metallic core. This core is the engine of the planet, a spinning dynamo that generates a magnetic field. This field reaches out into space, a protective shield that deflects the harsh wind of the star. The planet is building its own defenses, creating a safe harbor in the storm of radiation. Above the core, the lighter rocks float, forming a mantle and a crust. This is the solid skin of the world, the stage upon which oceans and atmospheres will eventually rest. It is a thin layer, fragile and cool, floating on the heat of the deep interior. The ground you walk on is a raft of rock, drifting on a slow-moving sea of magma. Even the solid earth is fluid if you watch it for long enough. Plate tectonics is just the way the planet releases its internal heat, a slow shifting of the skin to let the body breathe. and everything rests in its place. As the crust cools, gases trapped inside the rock escape, volcanic breaths of steam and carbon dioxide. They form a primitive atmosphere, a blanket of gas that hugs the planet. But something is missing: water. The early Earth was too hot to hold it. Any water would have boiled away into space. The oceans had to be delivered. They arrived on the backs of comets and asteroids, icy travelers from the cold outer reaches of the solar system. These bombardments, which sound violent, were actually the delivery trucks of life, bringing the gift of the sea to the dry rock. Each comet that struck the young Earth released its burden of ice, which melted and evaporated, condensing into thick clouds. For millions of years, it rained. It was a deluge of biblical proportions, a storm that cooled the crust and filled the low basins with water. The oceans are the melted ice of the outer dark, a vast reservoir of cosmic water that has settled here to stay. When you drink a glass of water, you are drinking comets. You are tasting the chemistry of the deep solar system. And silence follows. The presence of liquid water changes everything. It is the universal solvent, the medium in which chemistry can become complex. In the warm, mineral-rich waters of the early Earth, atoms began to swap partners, forming long chains of molecules. Carbon, the most friendly of elements, linked up with hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. It formed amino acids, lipids, and sugars. The ocean became a laboratory, a soup of potential, where the laws of physics began to experiment with the laws of biology. This transition from non-life to life is perhaps the most quiet and profound mystery of the architecture. There was no thunderclap, no sudden announcement, just a gradual increase in complexity, a moment where a molecule learned to copy itself. It was a tiny victory against entropy, a small pocket of order that could persist and reproduce. This self-replication is the spark, the mechanism that allows matter to remember itself and carry information forward into the future. Life is matter that has learned to survive, and the current flows without effort. We often think of life as something separate from the universe, something that happens on a planet, but the truth is more integrated. Life is something the universe does. Just as it creates stars and galaxies, it creates cells and minds. We are a natural byproduct of the laws of chemistry and physics, as inevitable as the formation of a crystal or the orbit of a moon. You are not a stranger here. You are the universe waking up to itself, a way for the cosmos to know its own beauty. Look at the hand that rests beside you. It is made of the same atoms that float in the nebulae. The calcium in your bones was forged in the death throes of a star. The iron that carries oxygen in your blood was once the molten core of a distant sun. The hydrogen in the water of your cells is as old as the Big Bang itself. You are a mosaic of cosmic history, a walking museum of the universe. There is no separation between out there and in here. You are a piece of the sky that has taken on a temporary shape, and wonder expands. This connection provides a deep sense of belonging. You do not have to earn your place in the universe. You are woven into its very fabric. The gravity that holds you to the bed is the same. Gravity that holds the galaxy together. The electrical impulses that move your thoughts are the same force that lights the lightning and the aurora. You are operating on the same software as the stars. There is a great peace in realizing that you are exactly where you are supposed to be, built of the right materials, obeying the right laws. Let us return to the scale of the Earth, this blue marble suspended in the dark. It spins on its axis once every 24 hours, a rhythm that governs the cycle of our lives. This rotation is a memory of the initial spin of the dust cloud that formed the solar system. We are still spinning from that first push, billions of years ago. The day and the night are the heartbeat of the planet, a slow blinking of the eye that allows one half of the world to rest while the other works. The atmosphere that wraps the world is a thin, delicate veil. Seen from space, it is a glowing blue line at the edge of the planet, no thicker than the skin of an apple, relative to the Earth. Yet this thin layer protects us from the vacuum, burns up the meteors, and filters the harsh ultraviolet light. It is a mixture of nitrogen and oxygen that is perfectly balanced for the life that breathes it. Every breath you take is a communion with this global system. an exchange of gases that connects your lungs to the forests and the plankton of the sea. And still, the tide moves gently on. The moon, our constant companion, hangs in the sky, a silent sphere of grey dust. It is the daughter of the Earth, born from a colossal impact long ago. A Mars-sized object struck the young Earth, splashing molten rock into orbit, which eventually coalesced into the moon. It is a part of us that has drifted away, a reminder of a violent past that has settled into a peaceful present. The moon's gravity pulls on the oceans, creating the tides, a rhythmic rising and falling that mimics the breath of a sleeping giant. The Earth rises and falls too, stretching slightly under the moon's influence. The lock between the Earth and the moon is a tidal embrace. The moon shows us only one face, keeping the other hidden in mystery. This is because its rotation has been slowed by the Earth's gravity until it matches its orbit perfectly. It is a synchronized dance, a sign of a relationship that has matured over eons. The moon acts as a stabilizer for the Earth's wobble, keeping our seasons regular and mild. Without this silent partner, the Earth would tilt wildly, and the climate would be chaotic. The stability of your climate is a gift from the moon, and the rhythm continues. Consider the magnetic field of the Earth, the invisible cage that surrounds us. It arcs out from the South Pole and curves back into the north, forming a giant donut shape around the planet. You cannot see it or feel it, but it is there, constantly deflecting the solar wind. When the wind is strong, the field bends and snaps, funneling particles down to the poles where they glow as the aurora borealis. These curtains of green and violet light are the visual proof of our shield, the beautiful byproduct of our protection. Deep inside the Earth, the heat is still moving. The core is as hot as the surface of the sun, a reservoir of thermal energy that has been trapped since the formation of the planet. This heat drives the slow convection of the mantle, the creeping motion of the rocks that moves the continents. The ground you rest on is part of a slow-moving conveyor belt, a surface that recycles itself over millions of years. Mountains rise and fall, oceans open and close, all to the tempo of a geological clock that ticks once every epoch, and everything softens. But above this slow geology, there is the rapid, fluid movement of the water cycle. The sun warms the ocean, lifting water vapor into the air. It drifts as clouds, crossing the continents, and falls as rain or snow. It flows into rivers, carving valleys through the stone, and returns to the sea. It is a circulatory system for the planet, distributing heat and moisture, ensuring that life can exist on the land. Every drop of rain is on a journey, a traveler that has seen the world from the clouds and from the deep abyss. This water is a thermal battery, storing the heat of the day and releasing it slowly at night. The oceans moderate the climate, keeping the Earth from freezing or frying. They are the great flywheel of the temperature, a stabilizing mass that resists sudden change. This is why the coast is cooler in summer and warmer in winter. The water remembers the previous season and shares that memory with the air. The planet has a built-in climate control, a system of checks and balances that seeks equilibrium, and peace lingers. Let your mind drift down from the atmosphere, settling into the biosphere, the thin layer of life that coats the planet. It is a web of incredible complexity, where every organism is connected to every other. Plants inhale what we exhale. We inhale what they release. It is a perfect exchange, a balance of breath that has maintained the atmosphere for millions of years. We are not just living on the Earth, we are part of its metabolic process. The forest is a lung, the wetland is a kidney, the coral reef is a nursery. Within this biosphere, energy flows in a continuous stream. It begins with the sun, whose photons are captured by the green chlorophyll of a leaf. This is the miracle of photosynthesis, the conversion of light into sugar. It is the bridge between the physics of the star and the biology of the cell. The energy of the sun is stored in the chemical bonds of the plant, waiting to be released. When you eat an apple, you are unlocking the stored sunlight of the summer, fueling your body with the energy of a star. Based on the established protocol, here is the 5th batch of the Sleeping Science script. We are now moving inward to the microscopic universe within you, before expanding back out to the edges of time. Shutterstock. sending paragraphs 121 to 150 of 220. This energy, harvested from the sun and stored in the food, enters the microscopic cities of your cells. Within each cell, there are tiny power plants called mitochondria, organelles that have their own separate history. They were once independent bacteria that learned to live inside larger cells eons ago, a partnership that has lasted for billions of years. They quietly burn the fuel you provide, turning sugar into the electricity that powers your muscles and your thoughts. You are a colony of ancient cooperations, a bustling civilization of symbiotic relationships working in total silence to keep the lights on. The efficiency of this internal system is a marvel of thermodynamics. Every second, millions of chemical reactions occur within you, yet you feel only a steady warmth. This body heat is the waste energy of your metabolism, radiating out into the sheets and the air. You are a radiator of infrared light, glowing in the dark spectrum of the universe. To a creature with the right eyes, you would appear as a luminous being, a soft beacon of heat standing out against the cooler background of the room. You are constantly sharing your energy with the environment, and the network endures. Consider the rhythm of your heart, the pump that drives the river of blood through the landscape of your veins. It beats roughly once every second, a tempo that aligns with the resting pace of music and the movement of the waves. In a single lifetime, it will beat nearly 3 billion times, a tireless engine that asks for no rest. It pushes the blood through 60,000 miles of vessels, enough to wrap around the Earth twice. You contain a journey within you, a closed loop of circulation that mirrors the great oceanic currents of the world. This blood carries iron, the heavy metal forged in the hearts of dying stars. It binds to oxygen, the gas released by the plants, and delivers it to every corner of your internal empire. It is a cosmic delivery service, ensuring that the fires of your metabolism have the air they need to burn. When the oxygen is delivered, the blood returns blue and tired to the lungs, where it is refreshed by a simple breath. It is a cycle of renewal that happens without your command, a testament to the wisdom of the autonomic system, and the current flows without effort. Deep within the nucleus of every cell lies the library of the DNA, a coiled molecule 6 feet long, folded into a space smaller than a speck of dust. It is the instruction manual for building you, written in a chemical alphabet of just 4 letters. This code is ancient, inherited from your ancestors in an unbroken chain that stretches back to the first single-celled organisms in the primordial sea. You are carrying the data of 3 billion years of survival. Your body is a book of history, recording the triumphs of life against the odds of the universe. This molecule is a master of replication, unzipping and copying itself, with incredible precision every time a cell divides. It is information made physical, a way for the universe to remember a successful design. But it is not rigid. It is capable of change. Over eons, small errors in copying, mutations, have allowed life to adapt, to try new shapes and new strategies. We are the result of billions of happy accidents, a drift of genetic code that has found a way to become conscious. We are the universe's way of storing complex information, and wonder expands. Let your attention drift to the most complex object in the known universe, the human brain. It contains 100 billion neurons, roughly the same number of stars as there are in the Milky Way galaxy. Inside your skull, there is a mirror of the galaxy, a vast network of connections where thoughts travel like travelers between the stars. Each neuron is connected to thousands of others, creating a web of pathways that is denser than the internet. It is a landscape of electricity and chemistry, where memories are stored in the patterns of connection. The signals in your brain move as tiny pulses of ions rushing in and out of the cell membranes. It is a biological form of electricity, quiet and low voltage, yet capable of generating the experience of a symphony or the concept of infinity. This internal lightning never stops. Even now, as you rest, the brain is humming with activity, organizing memories, repairing tissues, and dreaming. It is a sleepless guardian, processing the data of the day and weaving it into the tapestry of your mind. And quiet deepens. When you sleep, the brain shifts its rhythm. moving from the fast, choppy waves of alertness to the long, slow swells of deep rest. The fluid around the brain flows more freely, washing away the metabolic waste of the day. It is a physical cleansing, a nightly tide that clears the shores of the mind. Sleep is not just an absence of wakefulness. It is an active state of repair, a necessary maintenance cycle for the biological machine. It is the time when the universe within you tidies up its own house. This conscious mind of yours is a rare phenomenon. In all the vastness of space, amidst the burning stars and the frozen voids, we have found nothing else that wonders what it is. You are the universe contemplating itself. Through your eyes, the cosmos sees its own beauty. Through your ears, it hears its own silence. You are the sensory organ of the galaxy, a way for the dead matter of the stars to feel the warmth of a blanket. It is a profound responsibility and a profound gift, and still, the universe breathes. The present moment, this now that you are experiencing, is a slippery concept in physics. Because light takes time to travel, everything you see is in the past. You see the moon as it was a second ago, the sun as it was 8 minutes ago, and the stars as they were years ago. You are always living in a bubble of the slightly past, constructing a reality from delayed signals. But in the quiet of your mind, the now feels solid. It is the point where the past dissolves into the future, a razor-thin edge of time where existence actually happens. Time itself is not a fixed river. It is flexible. Relativity tells us that gravity slows time down. Near a massive object like the Earth, time moves slightly slower than it does in deep space. Your feet, being closer to the center of the Earth, are aging slightly slower than your head. It is a microscopic difference, but it proves that time is personal. It is not a universal clock ticking on the wall of the cosmos, but a dimension that wraps around you, bending and stretching with the mass of the world, and the rhythm continues. Let us widen the view again, stepping back from the biological to the cosmological, to consider the flow of time on the grandest scale. The universe is moving from order to disorder, a slide towards entropy. This is the arrow of time, the reason a broken cup does not reassemble itself, and why coffee cools down. It is a one-way street, a law that says energy tends to spread out and become useless. But this drift towards disorder is gentle. It is the reason things change, the engine of history. Without entropy, nothing would ever happen. This process of spreading out, of cooling down, is destined to continue for trillions of years. Eventually, the stars will burn out, and the galaxies will drift apart. But this is not a sad ending. It is a settling into maximum rest. The universe seeks a state of perfect equilibrium, where all temperature is equal and all motion is still. It is a long, slow journey toward a perfect, eternal peace. We are living in the bright, active flash of the universe's youth, a brief and beautiful party before the long, quiet sleep of eternity. And silence follows. But there is a mysterious force pushing against this gravity, a force we call dark energy. It is the energy of empty space itself, a pressure that pushes the galaxies apart. As the universe expands, it creates more space, which contains more dark energy, which causes it to expand faster. It is a runaway process, a gentle acceleration that is stretching the cosmos ever thinner. The universe is not just growing, it is rushing away from itself, driven by the latent power of the void. This means that in the far, far future, the other galaxies will move beyond our horizon, carried away by the expansion of space faster than light can travel. They will simply fade from view, leaving our local group of stars alone in a vast, dark ocean. The sky will become quieter, simpler. Future astronomers will look up and see only their own galaxy, unaware of the billions of others that once filled the view. We are privileged to live in a time when the universe is visible, when the neighbors are still within sight, and the orbit holds. Yet, despite this expansion, the local laws remain firm. The solar system does not expand. The galaxy does not expand. Gravity holds the local structures, together against the tide of dark energy. You do not expand. The forces that bind your atoms and hold the Earth to the sun are far stronger than the push of the void. We are safe in our gravitational harbor, anchored by the mass of the matter we love. The expansion is happening out there, in the deep gaps, while in here, the structure remains solid. Consider the motion of the Earth through this changing landscape. We are not just spinning and orbiting. Our entire solar system is bobbing up and down as it travels around the galaxy. We pass through the galactic plane every 30 million years, a slow oscillation like a horse on a carousel. This motion exposes us to different environments, different densities of cosmic rays and dust. The history of the Earth is written in these passages, a geological record of our journey through the different neighborhoods of the Milky Way, and everything rests in its place. Even the North Pole is not fixed. The Earth wobbles like a spinning top that is slowing down, a motion called precession. It takes 26,000 years to complete one wobble. This means that the North Star changes over the millennia. Thousands of years ago, the pyramids were aligned to a different star, Thuban. In the distant future, Vega will take the throne. The sky is a slowly shifting ceiling, a clock face where the hour hand moves once every few thousand years. Nothing is static. Everything is a long, slow circle. We measure these distances and times in light years, a term that combines time and space into one unit. A light year is the distance light travels in 1 year, about 6 trillion miles. It is a measure of history. When we say a star is 10 light years away, we are saying it is 10 years in the past. The geography of the universe is a geography of time. To look deep is to look back. We are surrounded by layers of history, wrapped in a cocoon of the past that protects us from the immediate blinding brightness of the now, and light drifts onward. In the very beginning, when energy turned into matter, it created equal amounts of matter and antimatter. These two opposites annihilate each other upon contact, turning back into pure light. If the balance had been perfect, they would have cancelled each other out completely, leaving a universe filled only with radiation. But there was a tiny imbalance, a slight preference for matter. For every billion particles of antimatter, there were 1,000,001,000 particles of matter. That single survivor, that 1 in a billion leftover, is what makes up all the stars and galaxies we see today. We are the remnant, the lucky few that survived the great annihilation of the early universe. The existence of solid ground, of water, of you, is due to a microscopic asymmetry in the laws of physics. It is a beautiful imperfection, a flaw that allowed for something to exist rather than nothing. The universe is built on a slight tilt, a deviation from the perfect zero that grants us the privilege of being here. We are the excess, the beautiful surplus of creation, and the balance keeps. Right now, passing through your body are billions of neutrinos. These are ghost particles, born in the heart of the sun and in the explosions of distant stars. They have almost no mass and interact with almost nothing. They fly through the earth as if it were made of glass. Day and night, they stream through you, carrying news of the fusion reactions in the core of the sun. You are transparent to the universe's most abundant messengers. You are being touched by the stars in a way you cannot feel, a constant, silent connection. These particles remind us that solidity is relative. To a neutrino, the rock is smoke. To a photon, the glass is air. We exist at a specific density, perceiving the world according to the limitations of our own senses. But the reality is far more porous, far more open than we perceive. We are sieves for the cosmic wind, allowing the universe to flow through us even as we stand still. We are open systems, constantly exchanging matter and energy with the void, and stillness travels through the water. Let your mind rest on the idea of this transparency. You are not a wall blocking the universe, you are a window. The gravity passes through you, the magnetic fields pass through you, the neutrinos pass through you. You are permeable, a gathering of energy that allows other energy to pass. There is no hard barrier between you and the rest of existence. You are a localized thickening of the cosmic field, a place where the universe has decided to become dense for a little while. This perspective dissolves the feeling of isolation. You are not a separate entity fighting to exist in a hostile vacuum. You are a feature of the vacuum itself, a wave on the surface of the deep. The wave is not separate from the ocean. It is just the ocean doing something specific in that location. You are the universe waving. You are the cosmos taking a breath. This sense of belonging is confirmed by the strange laws of the very small. In the quantum realm, particles that have interacted with each other become entangled, linked by an invisible bond that defies distance. Two particles, created together, can be separated by opposite ends of the galaxy. Yet, they remain connected. If you change the state of one, the other responds instantly, faster than the speed of light. It is as if they are the same object, stretched across the miles, but never truly broken. Space is not a barrier to them. It is merely a detail. If the Big Bang began with a single point of unity, then every particle in the universe was once touching every other particle. In a deep, fundamental sense, everything is entangled with everything else. The atoms in your body were once mingled with the atoms of the most distant star. The connection has never really been severed. It has only been stretched. We are part of a single, vast web of matter that remembers its origins. The universe is a single system, breathing in unison across the light years, and the network endures. Consider the act of observation, the simple miracle of opening your eyes. When you look at a star, a physical photon, a packet of light that has traveled for 1,000 years, ends its journey on your retina. It physically touches you, causing a tiny chemical change in your eye that becomes a signal in your brain. You are not just seeing the star, you are interacting with it. You are the destination of its energy. The star touches you across the void, and for a brief moment, your biological timeline intersects with its stellar history. This interaction is gentle but profound. Physics tells us that the observer is part of the system. By measuring the world, by seeing it, we force the fuzzy probabilities of the quantum world to settle into a definite reality. The universe needs to be seen in order to be defined. In the quiet of your room, your presence acts as an anchor for the reality around you. You are a witness, and your witnessing helps to weave the fabric of the moment into something solid and real, and peace hums through the body. Let us drift now to the strangest objects in the cosmic architecture, black holes. Far from being monsters, they are the profound silences of the universe, regions where gravity is so absolute that it brings everything to a halt. Imagine a waterfall of space, where the fabric of reality flows over an edge from which there is no return. This edge is the event horizon, the point of no return. But to fall into it would be a peaceful journey for the traveler. You would simply drift into the dark, carried by the current of space itself. At the edge of this horizon, time behaves in a beautiful way. As you approach the massive gravity, time slows down relative to the outside world. If you could hover near the edge, a minute for you might be 1,000 years for the rest of the universe. It is a natural time machine, a place where the hurry of the cosmos stops completely. At the very center, the singularity, time and space merge into a single, mathematical point. It is the ultimate pause, a stillness that is infinite, and silence follows. These black holes are also the great recyclers. They gather the gas and dust that drifts too close, compressing it and heating it before it disappears. But they are not messy eaters. They are efficient. As matter swirls into the hole, it forms an accretion disk, a glowing ring of light that spirals inward. This ring shines brighter than 1,000 suns, a beacon that marks the location of the invisible. It is the last song of the matter before it enters the silence, a radiant farewell to the visible universe. Even these giants are not eternal. Over timescales that boggle the mind, they slowly evaporate, releasing their energy back into the universe as a faint glow known as Hawking radiation. It is a slow, gentle exhalation, a return of the mass they swallowed back to the void. This means that nothing is ever truly lost. It is only held for a while in the dark before being released in a new form. The black hole is a bank vault for energy, storing it away for the distant future, and the current flows without effort. We find ourselves in a universe that is finely tuned for existence. If the force of gravity were slightly stronger, the stars would have burned out too quickly for life to evolve. If it were slightly weaker, stars would never have formed at all. If the electromagnetic force were different. Atoms would not hold together. We walk a narrow path of probability, a Goldilocks reality where the conditions are just right. This fine-tuning suggests a deep harmony in the laws of physics, a precision that allows for the complexity of a mind. This balance extends to our location in the solar system. We circle the sun in the habitable zone, the narrow ring where water can exist as a liquid. Closer in, the oceans would boil. Further out, they would freeze. We are coasting in the thermal sweet spot, a temperate band of space that allows for rain, for rivers, and for blood. It is a sanctuary of temperature, maintained by the steady hand of orbital mechanics. We are warm because we are exactly where we need to be, and life adjusts once more. The silence of the night sky, often mistaken for emptiness, is actually a canvas of radio waves. The universe is loud in the spectrums we cannot hear. Pulsars, the spinning remnants of dead stars, sweep the sky with beams of radio energy like cosmic lighthouses. They tick with the precision of atomic clocks, reliable metronomes beating in the dark. The gas clouds hiss with the static of hydrogen. The universe is singing a song of radiation, a complex harmony of frequencies that fills the room you are in right now. We listen to this song with great dishes of metal, radio telescopes that cup their ears to the sky. They catch the faint whispers of the cosmos, turning the invisible waves into data we can understand. It is a patient science, a waiting for signals from the deep. These telescopes remind us that there is more to reality than what meets the eye. We are immersed in a bath of information, bathed in the stories of objects we will never visit. The air is thick with the news of the galaxy, and the rhythm continues. One day, billions of years from now, our own sun will change. It will exhaust its hydrogen fuel and begin to burn helium. It will swell gently, turning red and cool, expanding until it engulfs the inner planets. This is not an ending to fear, but a natural maturation. The sun will become a red giant, a vast glowing ember in the sky. It will be a time of slow transformation, a changing of the guard for the solar system. The light will shift from the sharp white of noon to the soft crimson of a permanent sunset. Eventually, the sun will shed its outer layers, puffing them gently out into space. It will create a planetary nebula, a beautiful, glowing shell of gas that will expand for thousands of years. This gas, rich in the carbon and oxygen created during the sun's life, will drift away to join the clouds of the galaxy. Our star will give its body back to the universe, donating its substance to the next generation of stars. It is a final act of seeding, a contribution to the fertility of the cosmos, and light drifts onward. What remains will be a white dwarf, a small, dense crystal of carbon and oxygen, no larger than the Earth. It will shine with a stored heat glowing like a diamond in the dark. It will no longer generate energy, but simply radiate the warmth of its past. This little star will watch over the remnants of the solar system for trillions of years, a silent monument to the light that once was. It is a peaceful retirement, a long, slow cooling into the eternal night. This process is happening everywhere, all the time. The sky is full of the ghosts of stars and the nurseries of new ones. It is a garden that tends itself, composting the old to feed the new. There is no waste in this system, only recycling. The atoms that make up the nebula are the same atoms that will make up the planet, which are the same atoms that make up the eye that watches it. It is a closed loop of matter, a snake eating its own tail in a circle of eternal return, and everything rests in its place. In the very distant future, far beyond the life of the sun, the universe will enter the era of black holes. The stars will have all burned out, and the only light will come from the faint glow of the accretion disks. It sounds dark, but it is also a time of profound stillness. The frantic energy of the early universe will have calmed. The cosmos will be a place of deep, settled gravity, a vast archipelago of islands in the dark. It will be a universe at rest, having spent its fury and found its balance. But even then, things will happen. Particles will still tunnel, gravity will still pull, and time will still flow. The scale of the universe is not just in space, but in time. We are living in the very first instant of a timeline that will stretch on effectively forever. The party has just started. We are the early risers, the ones who get to see the stars while they are still bright. We are witnessing the brief, brilliant fireworks display that marks the beginning of the long, quiet maturity of reality. And stillness travels through the water. This deep time offers a perspective that heals. Our worries are often about the next hour, the next day, the next year, but the universe operates in billions. Against this backdrop, the urgencies of the moment soften. The Earth has weathered bombardments, freezes, and shifts for 4 billion years, and it endures. Life has persisted through 5 great extinctions, and it endures. You are the product of a resilience that is hardwired into the cosmos. You come from a line of survivors that stretches back to the first heartbeat of the first cell. Let your focus return now to the immediate, to the small universe of your own body. Feel the rhythm of your breathing, that slow intake and release of the atmosphere. With every breath, you are participating in the gas exchange of the planet. You are borrowing a liter of air, warming it, using it, and returning it. It is a loan from the biosphere, a constant transaction that proves you are connected. You do not stop at your skin. You flow into the air, and the air flows into you, and peace lingers. The iron in your blood is magnetic. If you were suspended in a strong enough field, you would align like a compass needle. You are sensitive to the fields of the Earth. Some birds use this sense to navigate the globe, feeling the magnetic lines as we feel the wind. Though you cannot feel it consciously, your body is attuned to the north and south. You are a creature of the planet, magnetized by the core, held by the gravity, warmed by the star. You are right at home. Consider the water in your cells, the saline solution that mimics the ancient ocean. You are a walking bag of seawater, carrying the environment of your origin with you wherever you go. The tears you cry are salt water. The sweat on your skin is salt water. The sea is not just a place you visit, it is the place you are made of. The tides of the ocean invoke a feeling of peace in us because they are the rhythm of our home. We are liquid creatures in a solid world, and the tide moves gently on. There is a quiet dignity in being a physical object. To have mass, to take up space, to cast a shadow, these are privileges. You are a tangible part of reality, a dense knot of energy that has achieved form. In a universe of drifting gas and empty void, to be solid is a rare achievement. You are a masterpiece of assembly, a structure that holds itself together against the entropy of the universe. For this brief century, you are a coherent whole, a unified system of biology and thought. Rest in that solidity. Feel the support of the bed, the resistance of the pillow. These objects are made of the same atomic stuff as you, electron fields pushing against electron fields. It is a meeting of forces, a polite agreement between the atoms of your body and the atoms of the world to share the space. You are supported by the fundamental laws of physics. They will not let you fall. They will not let you dissolve. You are held safe in the architecture of the real, and the rhythm begins again. As we drift toward the end of our journey, remember that knowledge is not a burden, it is a light. To know where you are is to be at peace. You are in the quiet suburbs of a spiral galaxy, circling a stable yellow star, protected by a magnetic shield, warmed by a greenhouse atmosphere, and sustained by a web of life. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. The universe has conspired over 13 billion years to create a quiet corner where you can close your eyes and rest. The stars above you are not judging, they are simply burning. The wind outside is not angry, it is simply moving. The universe is neutral, benevolent in its consistency. It asks nothing of you but to be a part of it, to consume its energy and release its heat, to observe its beauty and to dream its dreams. You are free to let go of the need to control, for the great machinery of the cosmos runs without your help. It turns the planets and ignites the suns while you sleep. This automatic motion is a promise of continuity. The world does not require your vigilance to keep spinning. The sun does not need your permission to rise. You can lay down the heavy burden of awareness, trusting that the physics of the universe will carry you through the night. It is a surrender to the inevitable, a letting go of the steering wheel. You are a passenger on a voyage that has been plotted by gravity and momentum, and the course is true. You are safe in the hands of the laws that govern the stars, and silence follows. Imagine the shadow of the Earth sweeping over you, the great cone of darkness that trails behind our planet as it faces away from the sun. Night is simply our turn to look into the void, to turn our backs on the fire and face the infinite. It is a time for the eyes to widen and the mind to cool. The darkness is not an absence of things. It is the presence of the universe. When the glare of the day fades, the true scale of reality reveals itself. You are wrapped in the shadow of the world, a cocoon of quiet that shields you from the brilliance. In this shadow, the air cools, the winds often settle, and the birds grow quiet. The biology of the planet responds to the astronomy of the rotation. Everything pauses. Your body too responds to this cosmic signal. The pineal gland begins to release melatonin, a chemical message that tells your cells it is time to rest. You are chemically synchronized with the rotation of the Earth. The desire to sleep is not just fatigue. It is an astronomical event, a resonance between your biology and the movement of the planet, and the rhythm continues. Let the concept of distance become a comfort. The stars are far away, and their fire cannot touch you. The problems of the world are far away, and they cannot reach you here in this sanctuary of sleep. You have created a perimeter of peace, a localized zone, where the only things that matter are the softness of the bed and the slow rhythm of your breath. Distance is a buffer. It creates space for you to be alone with your own existence. In this room, you are the center of the universe, the point of reference around which everything else fades. Think of the atoms in the walls of your room. They are vibrating, yes, but they are stationary in their positions. They hold the shape of the room, creating a stable environment for you. They are the silent sentinels, the unmoving guardians of your space. Matter is mostly empty space, yet it feels solid because of the forces we spoke of. You are protected by fields of force, invisible shields that keep the roof from falling and the walls from dissolving. You are held in a box of energy, a construct of safety built from the fundamental particles, and everything softens. The concept of now expands in the dark. During the day, time is chopped into minutes and hours, deadlines and appointments. But at night, time regains its fluidity. It stretches out, becoming a deep, calm lake. There is no rush to get anywhere, for there is nowhere to go. The only task is to exist. The only goal is to rest. You are stepping out of the chronological time of clocks and into the kairos of the cosmos, time measured in breaths, in heartbeats, in the slow drift of the constellations. Allow your thoughts to drift like dust motes in a shaft of light. They do not need to settle. They do not need to be organized. Let them float, untethered and free. The mind acts as a mirror to the universe. Sometimes it is crowded with stars, and sometimes it is a dark, empty void. Both states are natural. Both are beautiful. If a thought comes, let it pass like a comet, visible for a moment and then gone into the dark. You are the sky, not the weather. You are the vast background against which the thoughts pass, and the current flows without effort. Deep in the ocean, far below the waves, the water is eternally calm. Storms may rage on the surface, but they do not reach the abyss. There is a point of depth where the turbulence of the world cannot penetrate. Sleep is like that deep water. It is a descent into a layer of consciousness where the noise of the surface is silenced. You are sinking slowly, weightlessly, drifting down toward that place of absolute stillness. The pressure of the day is left behind, unable to follow you into the deep. This descent is natural. Gravity wants you to lie down. It is the earth calling you back to itself. When you stand, you fight gravity. When you lie down, you cooperate with it. You are aligning yourself with the pull of the planet, accepting its embrace. Feel the tension draining out of your muscles, flowing down into the mattress, grounded by the earth. You are no longer resisting. You are accepting the support that has been there all along, and stillness travels through the water. The universe is old, and it has seen everything. It has seen stars born and die, galaxies collide, and life emerge from the slime. It is not surprised by anything. This ancient quality brings a sense of perspective. Your worries, however large, they feel are small against the backdrop of 14 billion years. The universe is big enough to hold them all and still have room for infinite peace. You can release them into the void, knowing that the cosmos is vast enough to absorb them without a ripple. There is a form of love in this vastness. Not a human, emotional love, but a structural love, a permission to be. The universe allows you to exist. It provides the atoms, the energy, the space, and the time. It does not demand that you justify your presence. You are here because the laws of physics made it inevitable. You belong here as much as the proton, as much as the photon, as much as the gravity itself. You are a child of the structure, a welcome guest in the house of reality, and peace lingers. As you drift closer to the edge of sleep, the boundaries of your body may seem to blur. This is a return to the truth of connection. The distinction between you and not you is a useful illusion for survival, but in the deep truth of physics, it is arbitrary. You are continuous with the air, with the bed, with the room, with the night. You are expanding, gently, to fill the space around you. You are becoming less of a point and more of a field, a soft cloud of presence merging with the dark. The energy that animates you is quieting down, shifting from the active frequency of doing to the passive frequency of being. It is a phase change, like steam turning back into water. You are condensing, settling, returning to a state of lower energy and higher stability. This is the direction of the universe, the path of least resistance. To sleep is to go with the flow of the cosmos, to move towards the equilibrium that all matter seeks. And the tide moves gently on. Remember the light from the beginning of time, the cosmic microwave background. It is still there, filling the darkness with a faint, invisible glow. You are never in total darkness. You are bathed in the afterglow of creation, a relic of the first moment. It is a blanket of ancient warmth that wraps the entire universe. Even in the deepest sleep, you are held in this primordial light, touched by the energy that started it all. You are sleeping in the embers of the Big Bang. The rotation of the galaxy carries you at 500,000 miles per hour, a speed you cannot feel. You are traveling a vast distance every night, sweeping through a new region of space while you dream. When you wake, you will be in a different place in the universe than where you fell asleep. We are nomads on a cosmic scale, never staying in the same coordinates twice. The journey is continuous, smooth, and silent. You are being carried to a new morning across the ocean of the night, and the rhythm begins again. Your breath is the tide, in and out, rise and fall. It is the most fundamental rhythm you possess, deeper than thought, older than memory. It connects you to the first creatures that learned to use oxygen. It connects you to the trees that made the oxygen. It is a rhythmic contract with the biosphere. Trust this rhythm. It will continue without your supervision. You can let go of the control of your breath and let the body take over. It knows what to do. It has done this millions of times before. The heart slows, responding to the calm of the mind. The pressure drops. The blood moves with a gentle, hydraulic ease. The entire system is downshifting, moving into economy mode. It is a beautiful efficiency, a preservation of energy. You are storing up power for the future, banking the fire so that it can burn bright again. Rest is not lost time, it is gathered energy. It is the potential energy of a coiled spring, waiting for the dawn. And everything rests in its place. In the quiet, the brain begins to consolidate the day. It sorts the memories, filing away what is important and discarding what is noise. It is a librarian working in the stacks, organizing the books of your experience. This process allows you to wake up with a clear mind, ready for new data. It is a gift of the night, a mental cleaning that restores your capacity for wonder. You do not need to help with this. It happens in the dark, behind the curtain of sleep. The universe outside continues its slow evolution. Clouds form and dissolve. Tides creep up the sand and retreat. Stars inch across the sky. It is a symphony of slow motion, a ballet of geological and astronomical change. You are part of this movement, even in your stillness. Your rest is a note in the music, a pause that gives meaning to the melody. Without the silence, the sound would be chaos. You are providing the silence, and wonder expands. Let the feeling of weight become a feeling of grounding. You are heavy because the earth is vast. Your weight is a measure of the planet's affection for you, the strength of its hold. Sink into that affection. Let the mattress rise to meet you, supporting every inch of your body. There is no part of you that needs to hold itself up. The architecture of the room, the foundation of the house, the crust of the earth, it is all there to support you. You are held up by layers of stability. The dark is a canvas. It is not empty. It is full of potential. In the dark, the visual cortex rests, no longer bombarded by photons. The eyes relax, the muscles around them smoothing out. The face loses its expression, returning to a neutral mask of peace. This is your true face, the face of rest, unburdened by the need to communicate or react. It is the face of the universe at rest within you. And still, the universe breathes. We are approaching the end of our journey, but the journey of the universe has no end. It cycles and flows, recycling matter and energy in an eternal loop. You are part of that loop, a temporary and beautiful expression of the whole. Whether you are awake or asleep, you are participating in the great mystery. You are a localized phenomenon of the cosmos, a place where the universe has become aware. And now, that awareness is seeking rest, returning to the source of its strength. Rest now in the certainty of the laws we have explored. The gravity will hold. The oxygen will be there. The sun will return. The universe is reliable. It has not failed in 13 billion years, and it will not fail you tonight. You can close your eyes with the absolute confidence that the world will be there when you open them. The structure is sound. The architecture is unified. You are safe. The matter that makes you has traveled a long way to find this moment of stillness. From the searing heat of the Big Bang, through the nuclear furnaces of vanished stars, across the cold deserts of interstellar space, the atoms have journeyed to become you. Now, for these few hours, they have found a place to stop. They have gathered together to form a mind that can reflect, a heart that can beat, and a body that can rest. This is the universe pausing to appreciate its own existence. You are the destination of that long cosmic voyage. This architecture we have explored, the gravity, the orbits, the cells, the stars, is not a cold machine. It is a woven tapestry of support. Every law of physics works together to create a stable platform for your life. You do not have to understand the math to feel the safety it provides. The floor holds, the air sustains, the warmth remains. You are cradled in a web of forces that are as ancient as time and as gentle as a mother's arms. The universe is not just a place you inhabit, it is the very thing that holds you together. And silence follows. As the conscious mind begins to dim, the barrier between the internal and the external dissolves completely. The rhythm of your breath becomes the rhythm of the wind. The pulse of your blood becomes the flow of the tides. The quiet in your head becomes the silence of the deep voids. You are no longer an observer looking at the universe. You are the universe resting within itself. The separation was only a waking dream. The unity is the deeper truth. You are returning to the fundamental state of connection. There is no need to carry the memory of the day into the night. The day is done, written into the history of the cosmos, unchangeable and finished. The night is a blank page, a time of suspension where nothing needs to be written. You can leave the list of tasks, the worries of the future, and the regrets of the past at the door of sleep. They do not belong here. Here, there is only the slow, steady beat of the present moment, ticking softly in the dark, like a cooling star. And the rhythm continues. Let the darkness be a comfort, a soft velvet blanket that wraps around the world. It is the color of deep space, the color of the ocean floor, the color of rest. In the dark, the eyes heal, the skin cools, and the mind clears. It is a necessary reset, a time for the system to power down and perform its silent miracles of repair. You are safe in the dark, because the dark is simply the universe's way of saying it is time to stop. It is the visual signal for peace. Tomorrow, the Earth will turn again to face the sun. The light will return, heating the air and waking the birds. The cycle will begin anew, fresh and clean. But for now, that is a distant promise, a future that does not need your attention. Your only task is to drift, to float on the current of the night, trusting that the dawn knows exactly when to arrive. The machinery of the solar system is precise. It has never missed a morning. You can sleep with the certainty of the return of the light, and peace lingers. Feel the final release of tension from the small muscles of the face, the jaw, the hands. Let the tongue rest on the floor of the mouth. Let the fingers curl naturally. The body knows how to sleep. It is an instinct as old as life itself. You are simply allowing the natural program to take over. You are stepping back from the controls and letting the autopilot guide you down. It is a gentle descent, a slow gliding toward the runway of dreams, the knowledge of the stars, of the galaxies, of the atoms. It all settles now into a feeling. It transforms from information into intuition. You feel the vastness not as a thought, but as a sensation of spaciousness in the chest. You feel the antiquity of your atoms not as a fact, but as a weight of stability in your bones. The science becomes a lullaby, a story of where you came from and where you belong. It is the ultimate bedtime story, true in every detail, ending in the peace of this very moment, and the tide moves gently on. You are the stardust that learned to sleep. You are the energy that learned to be still. The entire history of reality has conspired to bring you to this bed, to this breath, to this quiet second. There is nothing more you need to do. There is nothing more you need to know. The universe is holding you, and it will not let go. You are home. You have always been home. As the final thoughts drift away like leaves on a slow river, let the silence take their place. It is a silence that is full of presence, a silence that connects you to the farthest star and the deepest ocean. It is the sound of the universe at peace. Rest in that connection. Rest in the knowledge that you are an essential part of the whole, a beloved child of the cosmos, safe in the unified architecture of existence, and everything rests. If your eyes remain open, another journey awaits. But if sleep arrives, you are already home.